morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Thursday, so that means what do we got? A list, right? 13 things on a list. Thursday's 13. And we are going to be talking about bass. The bass. The basis is the bass. The bass is the bass. Sorry, that's the name of the playlist. Bass is the bass. And you can figure out which one is typed, which one is spelled which way, however you want. This is the first and only international game show. First and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before we've started. We just got caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to speak and read live on stream. So let's get into those general news stories and our Thursday's 13 lists and our headlines and roll that segue wheel. Today on Thursday's 13. Spain will have veto power over residence permits in Gibraltar. And Iceland will hold a referendum on EU membership this year, says the Prime Minister.
And greetings on Thursday from the United States, where we're going to update the Epstein cover-up as the Justice Department has withheld some documents related to guess who? Old Trumpy. And speaking of malfeasance and perverts, there's steps for Republican Representative Gonzalez to step down after acquaintance commits suicide.
AFD against extremist, what the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution is allowed to do and when concerning the AFD in Germany. And Viktor Orban calls for the EU intervention in the Druzbha pipeline crisis and conditions the 90 billion euro loan for Ukraine.
And Thursday's 13. Besides coughing, on Thursday's 13, we're going to talk about bass intros. Songs that start with a bass, and as we alluded to earlier, the bass is the bass.
In my culture news, Phil Collins, Mariah Carey, and Lauryn Hill among Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees. So they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but people are going to vote on if they deserve to be in there.
And it's Carpe Diem Day. So seize the day and seize a cup of coffee because it's February 26, 2026 on Before Coffee. Anyway, sorry about that.
There we go. Yes, let's seize the day because it is here to be seized. Carpe diem.
Oh, yes.
It's crazy how there's some
day.
Ancient Latin terms that just get carried on into our lexicon permanently. Even there's nobody who even speaks it anymore. Let's roll our first segue for my stories about Gibraltar and Iceland.
I managed to work the conversation to Madonna and Sean Penn without realizing they were married. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, that was his first wife. It didn't last. They made a movie together. You should see it. It's really terrible. She can't act either. She acts about like she sings, which is, you know. She has a nice looking face.
Our first segue is a mixed metaphor. And this first story is coming out of Spain and the UK and Gibraltar and all that fun. This is on El País by Miguel Gonzalez. Spain and Gibraltar will be bound by a dense network of political, legal, commercial, economic, institutional, and social ties when the treaty between the European Union and the United Kingdom, which regulates the British colonies' relationships with the EU after Brexit comes into force. The treaty, comprising of 336 articles, that's a lot of reading, and 46 annexes in English, to which El País had access, provides for the demolition of the fence that has separated the British colony from its Spanish surroundings for more than a century, and creates an area of free movement within the so-called Schengen area, 25 EU countries plus Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and Switzerland. In return, it establishes a dual key system whereby Spanish authorities will not only have the right to veto entry to the ROC for travelers from outside the EU, but also to restrict the granting or renewal of residence permits in the colony when they allege that applicants pose a risk to security, public health, or international relations. As it is a treaty between the EU and the UK, the text must be legally ratified by both the European and British parliaments, although Gibraltar will also submit to a vote in its assembly, but not in the Spanish Congress of Deputies. While awaiting the final text, completed at the beginning of the year, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jose Manuel Alvarez, has held half a dozen meetings with the Andalusian regional government and the mayors of the Campo de Gibraltar region to inform them of the progress of negotiations that have lasted 4 years. Honestly, I'm really impressed that they were able to even get this done in 4 years. They have had a fence up for centuries. Here are the highlights of the treaty, which is scheduled to be made public today. So it's already probably been made public today on the 26th of February. Cooperation and sovereignty. Article 1 of the text states that its objective is to promote shared prosperity and establish close and constructive relations between Gibraltar and its neighboring Spanish territory, although it warns in Article 2 that none of its provisions affect the respective claims of Spain and the United Kingdom regarding jurisdiction and sovereignty, nor can they be used as a basis for future claims. Demolition of the fence. All physical barriers will be removed in accordance with the plan contained in the administrative agreement between the UK and Spain regarding Gibraltar, proclaims Article 7, one of the first acts planned when the treaty comes into force, and the one with the greatest symbolic force will be precisely the demolition of the fence, capital F, fence. Cooperation Council. A Cooperation Council is established, co-chaired by a European Commissioner and a British Minister, which will meet annually and will be responsible for implementing and developing the treaty by adopting decisions and recommendations. It will have specialized committees on free movement, the economy, trade, and aviation. Police checks at the airport. All passengers arriving in Gibraltar by air or sea will be checked by both Spanish and Gibraltarian police. These checks will be carried out sequentially at the airport, where passengers arrive at the port will be taken. This will prevent armed, uniformed Spanish officers from patrolling the territory, which had previously raised concerns. Checks for Gibraltar's residents and EU citizens will be conducted using automated systems, avoiding queues and overcrowding. Just scan your passport, and get moving. Gibraltarian authorities may refuse entry to travelers from Spain, while Spanish authorities, in accordance with the Schengen Agreement, may deny entry to Gibraltar to citizens of third countries, including British citizens, with the exception of those from states belonging to the European borders area and residents of Gibraltar. So they can't deny entry to Swiss people, Icelandic people, Norway. Did I forget another one? I'm forgetting another zone. But they can restrict entry to a British citizen who isn't a resident of Gibraltar. EU citizens may enter Gibraltar without a visa for a maximum of 90 days within an 180-day period. Conversely, residents of Gibraltar may also enter the country without a visa. British military personnel exempt. Members of the British Armed Forces or those from other countries visiting Gibraltar will not be subject to entry controls and will only need to present an identification document and an order from the British Ministry of Defence at the border control. Hey, I'm posted here, I'm supposed to be here, right? Through liaison officers, the United Kingdom will inform Spain of the entry and exit of these military personnel, as well as their family members and civilians working for the Department of Defense. Before issuing or renewing a residence permit in Gibraltar, the British authorities will notify their Spanish counterparts who may refuse to grant the permit if, in accordance with the Schengen acquis, the applicant is considered a threat to security policy, public health, or international relations. So, if you want to get a residence permit, don't be one of those people. In that case, the British authorities will not grant the permit and will inform the applicant that they may appeal to the Spanish authorities, who will have 28 days, extendable to 42, to issue a decision. Joint use of the airport. A joint venture between the United Kingdom and Spain will manage Gibraltar Airport, built on the isthmus, whose sovereignty is disputed. The future Anglo-Spanish company, headquartered in the third EU country, will put daily operation of the infrastructure out to tender and will be responsible for overseeing its functioning. The contract will stipulate the applicable legislation, and appeals may be brought before both British and EU courts. Cross-border workers. The 1,500 workers who cross into Gibraltar every day, including 10,000 Spaniards, will receive the same treatment as British workers. They cannot be discriminated against in employment, pay, or working conditions, nor in social benefits, taxes, except for access to housing according to the treaty. A customs union. Gibraltar joins the EU Customs Union, of which it was not previously a member, eliminating controls on the free movement of goods between the ROC and Spain. One of the annexes of the treaty establishes the locations of the control centers for products originating from or designated for the ROC in the towns of La Línea, Algeciras, and Sugonto, with the possibility of opening another in Portugal as a backup. European authorities may conduct inspection visits to the ROC to ensure that the single market is not jeopardized and to reinstate controls should any distortions occur. The new Gibraltarian VAT. Gibraltar will introduce a goods tax equivalent to the EU VAT called the transaction tax starting next April.
Sorry.
According to the annex of the treaty, the standard tax rate cannot be lower than the minimum VAT rate applied by an EU member state. During the first year, the transaction tax will be 15%, 16% in the second, and 17% in the third. The reduced rate cannot be lower than 5%, although there may be a super reduced rate for certain listed products. Curbing tobacco smuggling. Yep, that's right. People are doing that. Ending the smuggling of tobacco from Gibraltar, which floods the neighboring territory due to its lower price, is a long-sought goal for Spain. One of the annexes to the treaty aims to solve the problem through a gradual harmonization of taxes on both sides of the border. Gibraltar will impose a special tax on tobacco that will be less than 115 euros per 1,000 cigarettes. The price difference between the Spanish and Gibraltar markets resulting from the application of the special tax will not exceed 0.8 euros or 50% per pack, whichever is less, the text states. Finally, our last three, we're almost done. Hot pursuit, and these are only the most important things, right? There's probably way more things in this treaty that they're making. Hot pursuit. The treaty foresees a qualitative leap in police cooperation between Gibraltar and the EU, especially with Spain. Spanish or Gibraltarian police officers pursuing an individual involved in one of the crimes listed in the treaty will be able to continue surveillance or pursuit when the individual crosses the border. That's right. There's no, oh, sorry, we can't chase him there. It's not our jurisdiction. The treaty also provides for joint patrols and police operations with express authorization and strengthened cooperation with Europol and between the respective courts. Ecology. In environmental matters, the treaty is unambitious despite proclaiming the commitment of the UK and the EU to combat climate change. The agreement commits Gibraltar to maintaining a level of environmental protection similar to that of the EU and to establishing a carbon pricing system equivalent to the one applied by the bloc. However, it makes no mention of a practice of reclaiming land by filling the seabed, nor does it allude to bunkering the supply of fuel by floating gas stations in the waters of the strait, a high-risk activity. Finally, cohesion founded. Article 299 of the treaty provides for the creation of a financial mechanism to promote the cohesion between the Gibraltar and the Campo de Gibraltar, with investments in areas such as training and employment, but it does not specify the amount or how much each party would contribute. Only that measures will be taken to prevent fraud and other illegal activities, which reveals a lack of confidence in its operation, at least according to Miguel Gonzalez, who did this story. So there you are, the big news coming from Gibraltar. Huge treaty hitting the market here. It's not currently been accepted yet, but that's the plan, right? Is for it to be accepted by the EU and the UK and Gibraltar itself. And then, I guess, welcome to the Schengen zone in a way. You're still muted.
It's a good thing is my stupid phone keeps going.
Yeah.
So hopefully it stopped. Let's see. I was referring to Brexit here with my original metaphor. Here we go, Britain closing the Gibraltar barn door after the after the horse has left the barrel full of macaques. And you're like, macaques? And I was watching nature. I watch nature all day. When the TV's on, it's just on nature, right?
Yeah.
Gibraltar is overrun with macaques, which are these monkeys, basically, and primates. So, yeah, that's their number one.
So many monkeys.
I think there's more macaques than people. And they will, they're not I guess, not really that shy about people. But again, they're protected.
Yep.
I mean, Gibraltar ain't that big.
No.
Yeah, and my second metaphor, mixed metaphor is
right.
Yeah, they want to smoke their cigs and eat them too with the cigarette thing. So I don't. They want to smoke their cigs and eat them.
Please don't eat your cigs. Please.
It's not literal. It's a metaphor.
All right. I have one more story. This one's way shorter, so hopefully you have enough time to write a mixed metaphor. It's coming off Iceland.
I'm gonna try. I'll just use that second one.
While Gibraltar is trying to join the Schengen zone, Iceland is trying to join the EU completely. Right? They're in the Schengen zone, but I thought they were already in the EU, I'll be honest, so I can't believe they haven't joined yet. This is on Digi24, a Romanian news source. Iceland will hold a referendum on joining the European Union in the coming months, Prime Minister Kristian Frostdotter said on Wednesday, the 25th of February, at a press conference in Poland, of all places. In the next few months, we will work to prepare a referendum on the possibility of reopening accession negotiations with the European Union, said the head of the Icelandic government after meeting with her Polish counterpart, Donald Tusk. Iceland applied for EU membership in 2009 in the midst of the financial crisis when the country's three largest banks were bankrupt. However, in 2013, the government froze negotiations, and in 2015, it requested the withdrawal of candidate status. Sociological polls show an increase in support for Iceland's ascension to the EU. Negotiations could take place quickly. Iceland is part of the European Economic Area and the Schengen area, and before the negotiations were frozen, it managed to close 11 out of the 33 negotiating points. Yeah, there's a lot of things you have to match in order to enter the EU. Let me read quickly what this said. So this is from 23rd of February about the European Union could have one more member country due to a referendum that we held in early August this year. Iceland can hold the referendum on whether to resume EU membership takes as early as August, Political reports. Citing two people familiar with the matter, the country's parliament will announce the date of the vote in the coming weeks. The ruling coalition promised to hold a referendum by 2027, but accelerated the deadline due to the geopolitical turmoil, the introduction of the U.S. tariffs, and convicted felon Trump's threats to annex Greenland. The nominee for the post of U.S. ambassador to Iceland, Billy Long, joked that the country would become the 52nd state, and Trump mentioned Iceland 4 times in a speech at the Davos Forum discussing Greenland. Enlargement Commissioner Marta Ko said the discussion on EU enlargement is increasing about security and the ability to act in a world of competing spheres of influence. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen stressed during a meeting with the Icelandic Prime Minister Kristín Frostadóttir in Brussels that the partnership provides stability in an unstable world. Iceland applied to join the EU in 2009. We already talked about that. Polls do show a rise in support for Iceland's EU ascension. Negotiations could move forward quickly. Iceland is part of the Schengen zone already, and they already closed out those 11 out of 33 negotiating points. So there's my 2 short stories on Iceland. Maybe getting a fast track into joining the EU, since they already are a third of the way through it. And let's see if they still match up, I guess, by the time they get to August. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just going to write my metaphor down here. Did you know what country has the world's oldest parliament? Would you care to guess?
The Netherlands.
Iceland formed a parliament in the year 930 AD.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Iceland. And my metaphor is Iceland parliament, or any Congress, is like in Iceland's case, the world's oldest shit cramp. Shit cramp, yeah, it's a shit cramp. You know it's necessary, and you're glad when it's over. But there you go.
That's a metaphor.
There's my comparison to Congress and Parliament. You know it's necessary to have that. Oh my God, this is awful. I gotta go. And then it's like, oh, they're done. They're finally done talking. Shut up. Anyway.
Let's roll on a segue for your story.
The Congress people are just long-winded in so many cases, and nothing ever gets done. So I'll just compare that to all parliaments.
I'll associate this story for the next one.
How long has the Gibraltar thing been going on? 4 years, 5 years, you said? 4 years?
Negotiating 4 years it took them to negotiate after Brexit, right? Because of the Brexit problem.
Yeah.
Before the Brexit thing, it probably wasn't a big deal. Yeah.
And all because somebody in Parliament, don't forget this, you can't just put shit on the ballot in England. Brexit had to be put on the ballot by somebody in Parliament, and that's what they did. They screwed their own country. Years and years and years and years and years of scrambling to figure out what you're going to do next, when they already had a plan. I'm sorry, what was the spin? I'm retarded.
Associate.
I gotta write these down for me so I know what to reference later. Okay, I got 2 stories. I will definitely chop these down because some of them don't have a lot of information. We're gonna talk about a couple of clowns, really. This is NPR.org. Stephen Fowler, the headline says Justice Department withheld and removed some Epstein files related to Trump. Again, their order from Congress signed by Stinky the Clown says, hey, all the files unredacted except to protect victims. And they're not following it. And they were redacting names last year, way before the bill. An NPR investigation finds the Justice Department has removed or withheld Epstein files related to President Trump. The Department of Justice engaged. Oh, okay, that's a caption. It also removes some documents from the public database where accusations against Jeffrey Epstein also mentioned, Diaper Donnie. Some files have not been made public despite a law mandating their release. These include what appear to be more than 50 pages of FBI interviews. 50 pages. Who wants to see that? It might scare you. No, that's the stuff we want.
Everyone wants to see it, man. Yeah.
It's going to shock you. Yeah, it's going to shock you. We're shocked now. Again, we're not going to have trauma anymore over this. We want the information. If you're going to have trauma, but the trauma's happened, okay? The victims, they're the trauma, right? And they want the files out. So I'm not the victim. The victim's the people. Now, you can't have somebody in prison, and you can't have clients, and you can't have all that stuff, and only one person in prison. For all of these people are victims. I mean, it's very easy to understand to the layperson.
Yeah, trying to say that it's one mastermind is responsible for the guilt of the crimes is crazy, yeah.
Right. So here we are, and it says these interviews have been suppressed, as well as notes from people. again, Watergate. Here's the thing about Watergate. The actual crime was a minor burglary. It was. The cover-up got people thrown to prison. Okay, so as well as, the 50 pages of FBI interviews, again, I'm going to calm down. I will get mad. As well as notes from conversations with a woman who accused Trump of sexual abuse decades ago when she was a minor, 14 specifically. NPR reviewed multiple sets of unique and serial numbers appearing before and after the pages in question, stamped on the documents in the Epstein file database, FBI case records, emails, and discovery document logs, and the latest tranche of documents published in the end of January. The NPR's investigation found dozens of pages that appear to be cataloged by the Justice Department, but not shared publicly. The Justice Department declined to answer to NPR's questions. Of course they did. It's part of the cover-up. Hey, we're going to answer a bunch of questions now. On the record about these specific files, what's in them, and why they're not published. After this is frustratingly exhausting. After publication, the Justice Department reached out to NPR, taking issue with how its response to questions were framed. I'm sorry, Justice Department. Can we just not call them that anymore? The Department of Jackoffs spokesman Natalie Boldeflower reiterated DOJ's stance that any documents not published are privileged, are duplicates, or related to ongoing federal investigation. I need a better slur than jackoffs. I'm gonna have to go jackoffs for now. Following NPR's reporting, the House Oversight Committee ranking member, Robert Garcia, I love this guy, released a statement about the missing files. I'm not being sarcastic. This guy's really good. Yesterday, I reviewed unredacted evidence logs at the Department of Justice Oversight. Democrats confirmed that the DOJ appears to have illegally withheld FBI interviews with the survivor who accused Old Stinky of heinous crimes, Garcia stated. Democrats in the House Oversight Committee have already been investigating this allegation against the Stinky and will now open a parallel investigation into the DOJ's decision not to release these particular documents. Don't forget, the entire House could change hands based on just a couple of people. And there's some old ass Republicans too that are got one foot in the grave. So I don't know. I mean, the Democrats got oldies too. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Other files scrubbed in the public view pertain to a separate woman who was a key witness for the prosecution of criminal trial of Epstein's co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, and I said that intentionally, Ghislaine, who is serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking. Old Jizzy Maxwell is seeking clemency from Trump, which she will get. If that's his dying bed, he will give it to her because she knows shit. Oh boy, does she know shit. Some of these documents were briefly taken down and put back online last week. One of the first things Trump did, do not forget, was move Ghislaine to a nice, comfortable prison and get her a puppy. Got the old sexual predator a puppy. Trump got the sexual predator a puppy. Never forget that. NPR does not name victims of sexual abuse. Of course you don't. There was no reason to. When asked for comment about the missing pages and the accusations against Stinky, a White House spokeswoman, that blonde bimbo you see in the news all the time, I forgot her name, who likely going to prison, has done more for Epstein's victim than anyone before him. Yeah, he did a lot for him. He bought him drinks, right? Probably even got them a puppy. I mean, there were little girls. What little girl doesn't like a puppy?
Okay.
Just as Ricky has said, he's been totally exonerated in anything relating to Epstein. Totally exonerated by who? Where's the jury? Exonerated has a meaning, folks. That means you've been investigated. A grand jury's presented evidence, and they said, no, he can do nothing. That hasn't happened, folks. Stop saying exonerated. Not a thing that happened. Abigail Jackson, remember that name? Abigail Jackson, liar, fascist liar. And by releasing thousands of pages of documents cooperating with the House Oversight Committee's subpoena request, signing the Epstein Transparency Act, signing the act and not being transparent. That's amazing, isn't it? Anyway, this pimple-faced loser continued to say some awful shit that I don't care to repeat, because who wants to hear more lies? In a February 14th letter to a member of Congress, first reported by Political Attorney General Sham Blondie and Deputy Attorney General Todd I bought Giselina puppy Blanche, insist that no records were withheld or redacted on the basis of embarrassment. Oh, bull horse crap. Okay, anyway, I am done listing the cover up. I could go all day, as we all could, reading Epstein files and going, where's the follow-up? Oh, there's a reference to a follow-up. Where's the follow-up? Oh, we suppressed it because, No. There's a cover-up. We need to get to the bottom of this, and people need to go to prison. All the cover-uppers need to go to prison. Directly to prison. For the cover-up. And Trump can't pardon him while he's being impeached. He can't pardon him while he's being impeached. Because that's a self-own right there. I'm just saying, I mean, if we had an honest Congress. An honest Senate. Next story, after you do your association, which I don't even know what to say about that.
Well, I mean, I think I was listening to another story about this when I was waking up today, and it was something along the lines of, if anyone doesn't have anything, that's what I'm associating with it. They were saying, if they have nothing to hide, why don't they just say it? The fact that they're not saying anything and they're just saying, oh, look over there.
How about this? Trump sues everybody. He sues law firms. He sues the government. Donald Trump has sued more people than anyone in the history of the United States, and you can look it up. He's not suing the victims. Why?
That would include
my favorite lawsuit
bringing
is
them
Melania
on the court.
Michael Wolff, the writer, says that Melania was Epstein's girl and was Epstein's girlfriend before, and they introduced, right? All that, right?
Yeah.
Which he has evidence. He talked to Epstein. He's a guy who legitimately talked to Epstein. There's emails of them talking a lot. And Melania decided to sue him. And he's like, yeah, sue me. And because we'll have discovery then. We'll get all you know about Epstein, everything. And you'll have to say it under oath to a jury. Let's go, Melania. I hope that suit's still open, but she'll drop it. I think he can countersue, though. I think he can countersue for frivolous lawsuits. Anywho, let's do the old next story about, hey, you think that story was horrible and tragic? It is, but here's more.
All right, just give me a sec. I'm going to try to fix the audio because the audio keeps bugging out every 2 seconds. And I'm just sitting here resetting it. So let me...
Is it buzzing? Or is it my audio? Okay. Why did I type no? When did I do that?
All right. Welcome back. Everyone should hear us now. That was just really, really annoying me that it's just
buzzing?
the audio is being angry today. Yeah, the buzzing would just start every 30 seconds would happen, and then I have to restart the audio device and it would start again. I'm like, I don't know why that's happening. So I need to get that started again. It's literally
you don't have Amazon Music open, do you? You don't have Amazon Music open.
No. That's not the problem. I don't know what the problem is. This was not a problem before, and it's been a problem since for 4 months, and I don't know what caused the problem. Maybe I just need to default all this audio settings to default, and I don't know. Anyways, let's go to your next story. This isn't a technical stream, so we don't need to figure out the technical of it. I was just hoping restarting it would fix it, but it did not.
The show to see if that buzzing was showing up. I guess I'll do it. Near your segment. All right. So, my second story. Again, we were talking about horrible tragedies, and my segue to my next story. You already provided a segue. This is another creepy old Republican. Unfortunately, I'm not sure it's restricted to one party, but it just seems to be. I don't know. I mean, who's covering up the pedophile files? It ain't that. There weren't a lot of votes.
Thank you for checking in, Snack, and thank you for lurking.
So this is from Time Magazine, which still, I guess, exists, .com. Time.com, Connor Green, Rep. Gonzalez faces mounting pressure from fellow Republicans over harassment allegations. Republican Representative Tony Gonzalez, not the tight end or I guess he's a TV personality now. Not that guy. Don't slander that poor guy. He has nothing to do with this. Is facing pressure to step down from some members of his own party, not all of them, just some of them, after allegations that he had an affair with a staffer who later died by suicide. Several of Gonzalez's fellow House Republicans, including Reps Thomas Massey of Kentucky, who should get some kind of medal. I don't agree with his politics, but at least he isn't letting go of the Epstein thing. And he isn't taking no shit from Trump at all. And he might probably gonna get primaried. Tim Burchett of Tennessee, who is kind of a scumbag, but at least he wants this guy to resign. Lowen Boebert of Colorado, which, anybody got a weather vane? It kind of just blows with the wind and literally blows. Anna Paulina Luna of Florida, and Nancy Mace. There's a couple of absolute nut jobs mixed in there, but they have all called for Gonzalez's resignation, and rightfully so. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. The Antonio Express News and 24 Site News earlier this week published text messages allegedly exchanged between Gonzalez and his former aide, Regina Ann Santos Avelis. The messages appear to show the congressman pressing Santos Avelis to send him a sexy pic and asking her sexually explicit questions on 2 occasions, according to the Express News. Santos Avelis warned Gonzalez in the text exchanges that he was going too far. Gonzalez previously denied having an affair with his late staffer, but he has not addressed the newly released text messages that have sparked additional scrutiny. Maybe he had an affair with a different staffer we don't know about, right? A staffer. Speaker Grinder Mike Johnson, if that is his real name, said on Wednesday that Gonzalez must speak to allegations against him ahead of the Texas primary election next week. Gonzalez faces tight race against a YouTuber and guns right advocate. Oh, YouTuber. Okay, a YouTuber is going to get the back door into Congress. Come on, Texas. This is a border district, and the border's really been hit by this.
I think that's just trying to lessen them. Every person who's just a human being happens to have a YouTube channel, I think.
No, I'm talking
calling
about
them YouTubers.
Guns right activists. That part of it is not about YouTuber. I'm talking about the guns right activist guy. It's like, I'm not sure what that means, but it seems like a Nazi. I'm just saying, a Christian nationalist, guns right. Oh, I'm sure. Let's see what Brandon Herrera had to say about Alex Preddy, right? You know what I mean? Those are the people that just bother me. It's like, everybody's got a right to guns. He said that guy. I got it. I mean, the guy had his gun legally. That guy had no right to a gun. Got it. Consistent. Consistency is not a right wing. It's not a facet of their personalities. It's just win at all costs. That's it. Doesn't even matter what your policies are. I have said to him publicly and privately, this is Grinder Mike talking, by the way. I've said to him publicly and privately, he's got to address that directly and head on with his constituents. There's a primary there in less than a week. Things will play out. Boy, Grinder Mike hopes he loses, doesn't he? So I guess we got a primary on next Tuesday. Big old primary. There's actually a lot of interest, not only in the Republican side, but in the Democratic side, of course. We have a governor race. where that fascist, I forget his name, and then you got a Senate race where the sitting senator is being primaried by a criminal. So there's and even Republicans know he's a criminal in Texas. They know he's a criminal. So good old fun Texas. And on the Democratic side, you've got our one of our favorite Congress people. It'd be a shame if she lost and was never in the House anymore. Jasmine Crockett running against James Tallarico. So a very interesting primary there. And this poor bastard is going to lose. I'm sorry, dude. Asking him to resign is going to happen after he wins the primary. If he wins the primary, it's going to be, you better resign. But if he loses the primary, he's still going to be in Congress the rest of his term. So I'm just thinking, he loses, they're going to have, I don't know why they want this guy in Congress. If they primaried him, there's a reason. They don't like him. And so he's probably gone. Hopefully this district is smart enough not to give Trump a rubber stamp anymore. Anyway, let's get on with your association, because I've gone too long in this story.
Well, I mean, I guess I associate this, but for anybody who doesn't know, I guess I just recently learned that primaries aren't really a thing in Europe. The people out there might not even know what a primary is.
Europe, it's state by state, by the way, how primaries are run. A lot of states do it, but gang, like
Texas open primary.
Yeah, like let's say Florida. Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat is open, right? So the primary for her election, which I think is also March 3rd, is I think there's 30 Republicans on the ballot and like 4 Democrats. And only the top 2 of all of those people advance. It doesn't matter what the party is, to the final. So that's probably the way to do it. The actual proper way to do it is to have an open primary, everybody on the ballot, and then weigh your votes. Like, that's my first choice, that's my second choice, that's my third choice. So you don't get a fascist in there, right? Because you're splitting votes. You're not splitting votes with good people. I got 2 people running and an asshole, and you're going to split the vote of the 2 good people, and the asshole gets elected. That's why ranked polling exists. I've gone on too far, but not all elections are the same in the United States. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Yes, I wanted to explain that, but I guess you explained it instead.
Right, yeah.
Most places in Europe have multiple parties, so you just vote for whoever, and then they get a seat at the end of the story. But yeah, in America, it's more like you choose who gets to be voted to get a seat to begin with. And that's, for example, why Bernie Sanders had to sign up as a Democrat, because he couldn't be in a primary. Independents don't get a primary, so he couldn't be put on the docket.
That's an advantage of being an independent. You don't have a primary. You can just go straight to the general election. Skip all that fundraising and you can go ahead and shake all the hands you want, but you don't have to fundraise until the general election.
Yeah. And that's also why you see like 4 different people, like 4 different Democrats running, right? And they're like, oh, I'm dropping out of the race because they lose their primaries. So they're not going to be on the general election. So, and that's why it ends up being 1 versus 1 at the end of the day, because of how that works.
George Wallace caused Richard Nixon, and Ross Perot caused Bill Clinton. They did not win the majority of votes. George Wallace actually won electoral votes in the South, and Ross Perot bled enough away from George Bush in a lot of states that Bill Clinton won them. So they hated Bush, but they couldn't stand Clinton, so they voted for Perot. Those people. And those people, by the way,
that's a false equivalence. A lot of people always say, right? The independents caused the other people to lose. But I'm sure there's.
Well,
I think it's a false idea that Republicans don't vote for independents either. That's all.
Well, he got a pedestal on the stage. He wasn't just ignored. He was right there on everybody's television and said equal to them other 2 guys. That's what Ross Perot did. They didn't have debates when George Wallace was around. He just hated black people, and the South voted for him. So all right.
Our next segue is going to be non sequitur for my next stories. Non sequitur. My Next story is coming out of, wait, is it the Orban story? No, it's Germany first. Right. So AFD, we've been talking about AFD for years, especially on this show. We've been talking about them. What a lot of people see as the second coming of the Third Reich, or I guess the Fourth Reich in this case. They have been on trial to be labeled as an extremist organization, which means they won't be allowed to actually put people in for election, because once you become labeled as extremist, you get disenfranchised as an actual political party. This is on Zeit, Germany. Following a court ruling, the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution, BFV, is temporarily prohibiting from classifying the entire AFD party as a confirmed right-wing extremist organization and monitoring it accordingly. The Cologne Administrative Court granted the party's urgent application against the classification. It ruled that the federal agency must await the outcome of the main proceedings before classifying the party. What exactly do domestic intelligence service classifications mean? What consequences do they have for the party? And what is the actual role of the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution? These are the most important questions and answers. Why does the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution even exist? The Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution, BFV, is an early warning and monitoring service without police powers. Its establishment is linked to the experience of the Weimar Republic, which was the World War I Germany at the time. Democracy failed, in part due to the lack of protection against extremist movements, cough cough Hitler. The National Socialists used the democratic structures of the Weimar Republic to seize power and abuse it to abolish democracy and establish a dictatorship, also known as the Third Reich. The founder of the Federal Republic wanted to ward off such dangers for the future. The basic law therefore states that the federal law could establish central offices for police information and intelligence services for the criminal police and for the collection of documents for the purpose of constitutional protection. We need to make sure you're not trying to do Nazi 2.0 over here. What powers does the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution have? The federal law on the protection of the Constitution is one such federal law. It regulates the work of the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution. The agency is authorized to collect and evaluate information. It functions as a kind of early warning system, issuing alerts about extremist groups, networks, parties, and suspected terrorists. They're probably the ones who reported on, hey, that dude from AFD did the freaking Third Reich salute and also said, fuck immigrants. We're gonna put him on our watch list. It also is responsible for counter-espionage. The Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution and the state-level domestic intelligence agency have no police powers. However, there is an exchange of information with the police, for example, at the Joint Terrorism Defense Center, GTAZ, where the important information about Islamist extremists is shared. For practical purposes, the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution has defined various escalation levels. What is a test case? A case under review, which is what the AFD is currently, is the lowest level. At this stage, there are initial indications that an organization or individual might be pursuing extremist goals. However, the authorities are only permitted to evaluate publicly available information at this stage, so they're not allowed to go into your office and check your private documents. For example, social media activities, speeches, publications, or public events. Covert intelligence methods such as surveillance or the use of informants, confidential informants within the scene, are prohibited. In a case under review, the group is under scrutiny but is not yet officially considered a suspected extremist case. Public disclosure of cases under review is not permitted. So, what's next? A suspected case. So this is the next level up. For if evidence mounts that extremist goals are being pursued, the Federal Office can classify the organization as suspected extremist group. The agency designates a group as such and is permitted to make this public if there are plausible indications, actual evidence, that is indeed working against the democratic order. Such classifications can weaken the organization's credibility and acceptance. For organizations classified as suspected extremist groups, covert intelligence methods may be used to gather further information. For example, members of the group may be observed at a meeting in which they might do, the Nazi salute. When is a party definitively considered extremist? So this is what they're trying to get to. I think they're currently under review, maybe mid suspected, but they're not currently classified extremists yet. That's the AFD. The highest level of classification, which was the issue with the AFD, means that according to the federal office, the organization demonstratively pursues extremist goals. In this case, the agency concludes that there is sufficient evidence to substantiate that the group actively opposes democracy. Groups with this label are officially considered extremists and appear by the name in their BFV's annual report. Here, the agency employs its full range of intelligence methods for monitoring. Authorities, parties, or associations typically distance themselves. Funding can be withdrawn and civil servant careers can be jeopardized. This did not happen in this instance. The Cologne Administrative Court ruled that after reviewing the case in the expedited proceedings, the evidence presented by the BFE did not currently establish the AFD's overall character was dominated by extremist ideologies. Are there extremists in AFD? Yes, there's probably extremists in all government bodies, but that doesn't make the AFD itself actually pursuing anti-democratic ideology. Is there anything changing in the countries now? No. In Saxony-Anhalt, Saxony, Thuringia, Brandenburg, and Lower Saxony, the respected AFD state associations are classified as right-wing extremists. The Cologne Administrative Court preliminary ruling does not change this. So, is this upgrade risky? That's difficult to say. The Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution, BFV, has collected material over a longer period and ultimately prepared an expert report on the AFD. What raised questions at the time was that the announcement was made at the beginning of the May 25, just a few days before the handover of office from the then Federal Minister of Interior, Nancy Faeser, SPD, and her successor, Alexander Dobrindt, CSU. So what does this mean for a possible ban of the AFD? The court's decision has no direct bearing on a potential ban of the AFD. However, the political debate about whether a ban would be appropriate and likely to succeed might have gained momentum had the court rejected the party's urgent application. Only the Federal Constitutional Court can decide on a party ban. Such as application can be submitted by either the Bundestag, the Bundesrat, or the federal government. The Left Party, which has long been in favor of examining a ban on AFD, maintains its position. The judicial determination of a party's unconstitutionality is deliberately reserved by the basic law to the Federal Constitutional Court and not to the Intelligence Service or the Administrative Courts. Since the founding of the Federal Republic, only 2 applications to ban political parties have been successful: in Karlsruhe in 1952 against the neo-Nazi Socialist Reich Party, SRP, and in 1956 against the Communist Party of Germany, KPD. So there's all your information about why, for now, the AFD has not been considered a extremist party and been banned or whatever, because first of all, they're not allowed to, they don't even have the right to ban them as a party, and currently they haven't found enough information. So the BFB was probably have to do more investigations and monitoring to make sure that they don't start leaning over into Nazi territory. And there's your story. You're muted still.
Yeah,
One day, there you are.
You were talking about the Nazis, so forth and so on. The master race never wins in a true meritocracy. They never win.
No.
When you have to put man to man, woman to woman, it's always whoever, oh my God, look at the black guy won again. It's like, oh, okay. So,
and also, like, just saying you're the best race. Yeah, just saying you're the best race is just like, it's peacocking, I guess, right? Look at me, I'm big and I'm the best, and you have no proof, right? You're just saying words.
The master race had to stop black people from playing baseball. The master race kept Jack Johnson from fighting for the heavyweight championship. If you're in the master race, the hell are you afraid of, you cowards? All right, that's my Black History Month about the master race. Once they started letting blacks and Latinos play in baseball, Wow, look at, there's almost no white people out here anymore. Holy
Don't forget
shit, what
about the
happened?
Japanese. The Japanese are also
Again,
big.
best player in the world for the last like 5 years is Japanese. Like starting pitcher in the All-Star game and just jacks home runs and steals bases. The only thing he can't do is play in the field. He's a DH, but yeah. They don't want him to play the field, by the way, because he's a pitcher. He's a pitcher.
Yeah.
He pitches every 5 days. So he doesn't play in the field because he's resting his arm. Or,
Yeah,
I don't know if he's
exactly.
even a lefty. He's resting his arm from pitching. But he still goes
it takes
and
a lot.
hits every. Yeah, I'm just saying. So Master Race is the most hilarious thing in the world. It's, I don't even know what race is, first of all. I mean,
It's a concept. It's a visual concept.
Yeah, it's like, tell me what person in humans can't breed with another person. We're all the same. We all have 23 pairs of chromosomes across all humanity. If you don't have them, the extra chromosome, you're known as probably something wrong with you. I'm going to go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I talked about this in my bachelor's degree, so I will put down the bingo board that I am talking about having a bachelor's degree. And like the first lecture I ever had, they were like, racism is simple. It's like determining who deserves to have rights based on shoe size. That's the metaphor they like to use, right? Oh, you're a size 12? You don't deserve rights. That's how stupid racism is. And race in general. You're basing an entire class of people on something that happens later, right? You can't determine what shoe size will be when they're a kid. Right? You have to wait.
But it's cognitive dissonance in the first place. You act like your race somehow down the line, there wasn't a couple of people with darker skin than you that got together, and the only reason you're here in the first place. So it's a construct that doesn't exist. It's like time. We got to measure how people are, and they have it on forms, official government forms. What race are you? Which I think, can we get rid of this shit? Just get rid. I do agree with getting rid of that, because who fucking cares anymore? Let's stop tracking what everybody's race is. I'm a fucking person. That's what I am. Are you Alaskan or Pacific Islander? I'm gonna start checking that box just to see what the fuck happens. I don't know. What's gonna happen? They can't use my identity in that. So I'm a Pacific Islander. To hell with you bastards. People can lie on that, for God's sake.
Yeah, that's so true. I have one more story. It's very short, so you can give me another non sequitur after this. Viktor Orban update. He is calling for EU intervention in the pipeline crisis because my oil! I'm not getting oil from Russia. I'm going to stop the entire EU for my oil. God, this is on Digi24, a Romanian paper. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has called on the European Union to send a fact-finding mission to verify the situation of the Druzbha pipeline in tension with Ukraine over oil transit. In a letter to the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, Orban argues that the dispute must be clarified before Budapest agrees to pay a €90. That's really cute. 90 billion euro loan to Ukraine and adopt the 20th package of sanctions against Russia, writes The Guardian. That's really cute that Orban thinks he's paying any huge amount of that total, right? He's trying to make it sound like Hungary is paying the 90 billion. I don't think Hungary's paying the 90 billion. Hungary's probably paying the 2 billion of that 90, right? But he's claiming Hungary is paying the whole 90 billion, just us. Just us. Yeah, you're with your great economy, Orban. Orban urged the European Union to form a fact-finding mission. In a letter, the president, he said they must facilitate the timely resolution of this issue, which has blocked the payment of a 90 billion euro loan granted by the EU, the EU, not Budapest, to Ukraine, and the adoption of a 20th package of sanctions against Russia. He called for the mission to include experts from Hungary and Slovakia, a country that is also still affected by the disruption of oil transit through the pipeline. And at the same time, he assured Costa that Hungary would accept the conclusion of such a mission, regardless of what they might be. He's also claiming in his entire next election on whatever happens with Hungary. That's his thing. Ukraine. I will make sure Ukraine never enters the EU and NATO, and that's what he's running on, because he is fully just Putin's little puppet. I don't know. keep on eating that Russian oil, I guess, Orban. And there's my anger for today. Just reminder, Orban's a piece of shit. I don't know what to say. And I don't think anyone in Hungary likes the guy. So, vote this guy out of office, please. Thank you.
He's a big tubby piece of shit, looks like, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so, my non sequitur. Are you there? Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, yeah, okay. Viktor Orban, one of Putin's favorite puppets. More than a puppet. He has a permanent scar on his chin. Did you know that?
Does he?
Yeah, he forgot to bring a pillow to bite, and Putin rammed his head into the headboard.
Oh, dear.
So, that's my non sequitur joke. I'm not sure he has a scar, but I made that.
What a joke. What a joke.
He is a supplicant to another fascist. And again, how many long has he been in power? This whole century, perhaps? I'm not sure. Like,
I think
you don't have a functioning government.
I think, if I remember correctly, it's something like, I think it was something like 12 or 16 years or something like that.
I mean,
but
the internet
to
exists.
be fair, it's not
Guessing.
consecutive, right? I think he had two.
Yeah,
he had two.
Okay.
Two different people in between him, and then he came back again. So I'm sure there's a reason why he was voted back into power for like 2 more or 3. I think it's been 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Guess.
What's the word for that?
If anybody really wants to know, they can look it up.
Yeah, probably some meddling from Russia. Yeah.
Non-specific. It's a non-specific year. He's been in power for a while, is my point.
Almost 20 years,
it's always
I think.
Bad. Beyond 8 years. And I think the United States gets this right.
American, yeah.
8 years is plenty of damn time to screw up the country. And we give you any more time than that, you're in the what Reagan did. But you got another third term and screwed up the country even more. But George Bush did a little bit of a reversal on that when he did raise taxes on rich people. All right, so we're going to do something else, is do a U-turn and talk about
Yeah, he was in office from 98 to 2002, and then he reassumed office in 2003, and he's been in office since, I think.
This whole the whole century is minus 2 years.
Yeah. So
that's it.
Oh, sorry. He assumed office in 2010. Sorry, he resumed office in 2010, and he's been in office since 2010. So from 98 to 2002, so almost since I've been born, and then.
Yeah. He had no power then. This time he's got power. Yeah.
Yeah, this time he has more power. Anyways, our next segue is a limerick for our Thursday 13 list. So that's going to be interesting for me to write a limerick on this.
Don't elect a president who's already been rejected once. Hello, United States. All right, today we got a musical list. I guess I could follow along with it. I'm not sure, but I have the list. And I did not make a board list for everybody today, unfortunately. I neglected that task. But we do have a list, and we have music to play with it. So we're going to get on to my list, and you're going to have to let me know when you play it.
All right.
I cannot hear what you play. And we did, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, we did the one about the cowbells. And I was like, yeah, you know what? There is a lot of cowbells in music we don't acknowledge. And then earlier this week, we had some stories about bass players, I believe, and it got me thinking about bass players. I said something about bass players. I forgot what it was. Anyway, and with some context, we mentioned bass players. So I decided there's a lot of good classic rock songs that the bass player, and a lot of times you don't know who it is, starts a song. So let's start the list. And this is in conjunction with the Rock and Roll of Fame being announced, because our first person on the list is Alice in Chains. The song Wood, about Andrew Wood, which begins with the bass line, Mike Inez, and of course is about Andrew Wood of Mother Love Bone. And let's have the beginning. I mean, I don't even have to cue these up. They're all at the start. And as soon as you hear that bass, you can cut it, I guess, or play as much bass line as you want. Let's have Wood. Let's have
All
Wood.
right, I'm playing it.
8 fingers. I'll do this like I can hear it. I can hear it in my head.
Just raising it a little higher. There you go.
loud enough that people can hear us in the bass line. This is
nice bass. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I watch a lot of reaction channels. Yeah. I watch a lot of reaction channels, and I think all these people get those Beats headphones, which have the bass, more bass than most headphones, I think.
Yeah.
And as you know it, because they're always, oh, wow, that bass, oh, wow, that bass. And it's like, man, I never really noticed the bass. It must be the headphones they're listening. Or maybe it's my hearing.
Bass boosted, yeah, that's a thing.
I'm sure,
bass boosted.
Yeah, bass boosted, yep. Bass boosted headphones. And they're like, oh, no shit, you're hearing the bass, because, yeah, it's being oversampled probably. Number 2 on our list, and this one was so good, and this is played by Klaus Bormann, Manfred Mann, one of the best friends of the Beatles from Hamburg days. Klaus is from Hamburg. Anyway, the song is You're So Vain by Carly Simon. The bass line is, I think he plays like the lowest bass string on his bass. And it was such an impressive bass line that you can hear Carly Simon whisper, "Son of a gun." And she wasn't talking about anybody in the song. She was talking about the bass line when she heard it. And maybe she was even singing to Klaus Bormann the whole song, right? Which is why that take was so good, because that bass line got her going. Let's have some Klaus Bormann, You're So Vain.
And we're good.
We get to the chorus. Yet. Our next one on the list is
it's a
very
15-second bass intro. It's pretty long, actually.
Yeah. Son of a gun. That's what I got to say. Number 3 is one everybody knows from Vanilla Ice. If you didn't know it from Queen and David Bowie, it's Under Pressure. John Deacon's the bass player for Queen. This is part of a long bunch of, I did not list a lot of songs that ended up as bass lines on rap. I did overlook, there's a bass line for Steely Dan song called Black Cow, which I'll probably be number 15 on my list now. Which I forget who sampled that. Maybe I'll look it up and see it later. But whoever sampled Black Cow, whenever the reactors hear it, they go, "Oh, that's whatchamacallit." And then as soon as they hear the bass line. So if you hear the bass line, to start a Black Cow, maybe we can play it later. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
So number 3, the bass line for Under Pressure featuring John Deacon.
And there's our bass line.
That's right. And number 4, as long as we're talking about John Deacon, another one bites the dust. And so number 4, another song on our list, bites the dust, is John Deacon, the little-known member of Queen. When you think about Queen members, has 2 of the most famous bass lines in rock and roll. Hit it.
And there's another great bass line. I love bass lines, by the way. I just want to add that in here.
Yes. You are a bass player. You have a bass, so you're still playing it.
Yes.
Definitely. This should get you in the mood to play it then. Number 5, probably the most recognized as at least the old school rock and roll bass players, John Entwistle, The Who, who physically made his own bass when he was a mere child. And the song we want to feature, because it's the intro to the song he sings the chorus in, Boris the Spider, which is a great sing-along at all Who concerts. Or it was back when John Entwistle was alive. Let's have Boris.
hanging up my wall. Black and hairy, very small.
And there's Boris. I remember that song. Yeah, it's a great one.
Did you get all the way through the chorus?
No,
All right,
I can't
well-
play that much.
Okay.
This is already a long enough segment.
It is the best song because when I saw the Who in concert, we'll just go on about that a little bit. It was 89. Your mom was really not familiar with the Who at all, and I'm singing along with all these songs, and I'm like, creepy crawly, creepy crawly, creepy crawly, crawly. You know, the whole crowd, the entire Jack Murphy Stadium singing that. Yeah. That's the highlight of the Who concert for me. Number 6, our favorite sock-wearing bass player, Flea, who's also in one of my favorite movies, Big Lebowski. And you could take a lot of Red Hot Chili Pepper songs, but the one I'm gonna take is the remake of the Stevie Wonder classic, Higher Ground, where he just slaps the hell out of the bass to start the song. Let's have Higher Ground from RHCP.
From Flea. And there we go, some Higher Ground. People!
Now here's a band that had 2 bops, absolute bass bops. One was called Don't Call Us, We'll Call You. You may have heard that one. But their first original hit was called Green Eyed Lady. The bass player there is Bob Raymond. Green Eyed Lady has kind of at the beginning, very beginning, he's kind of scaling the bass, right? But after the beginning, the real beginning, if you want to play it that wrong, he gets into that bass groove that just plays throughout the song. That plays all the way through the song. It's a bass groove, but he starts it like scaling the bass. So Green Eyed Lady from, Green Eyed Lady, I always forgot their name, Sugarloaf. Green Eyed Lady, Sugarloaf, who had 2 hits. This was their first one.
And do you know the bassist for Sugarloaf?
Bob Raymond, I think I mentioned it.
Bob Raymond, yeah, okay. Just making sure.
Right on.
Nice scaling our what is that, arpeggio or whatever on the bass there.
Did you get to the groove, or did you just...
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play that all the time with my fingers on the desk, right? Or with my mouth even, right?
Very catchy.
I mean, you can do it all day. It just never gets old. Number 8, this is not even a bass. It's one of those Moog mini keyboards that you saw the nerds play in the 80s. But the guy who originated the nerd with the keyboard and his guitar strap, right? That guy's name was Gary White. So he's not even playing this on a bass. He's playing this on a Moog keyboard that he strapped around his neck. Gary White with My Love Is Alive.
It sounds like a bass. Very good.
I always thought it was a bass line until I saw him play it. I mean, you can play this on a bass. I'm not even sure that can be accomplished on a bass, to tell you the truth.
Maybe, I don't know.
Be complicated, right?
Our next song.
Number 9, speaking of instruments that are played that are not technically a bass, it's the White Stripes featuring Jack White on guitar. It's been tuned down an octave, or probably using a bigger string even. Seven Nation Army, the one song everybody knows by the White Stripes, has one of the most famous intros. Let's have it. We did 2 whites in a row. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I guess they're really great at
Barry
their
White and Jack
using
White.
not bases to play bass lines. Like,
Yeah, we go from two whites in a row to another color, Green Day. And their song Longview, which is, about masturbation. I mean, they come out and say it. So the song Longview, the bass player there is Mike Dirnt, Dirnt, D-I-R-N-T, Dirnt. I'm not sure that's his real name, but if it is, that's cool. But anyway, Mike Dirnt of Green Day, just setting the mood for sitting around bored as hell with nothing to do. Yeah, that song, you play this and you just stop all activity. Just
also has a good drum intro too.
Green Day's no joke, man. I mean, they were technically a punk band, but yeah, I really enjoy Green Day. Number 11, there's your classic rock, the way back classic rock, and the song that starts with a cash register, one of the most clever percussive instruments in the history of anything. Intros. The cash register at the beginning of Money by Pink Floyd, which was thought up by Alan Parsons, who is also the engineer on, besides being engineer on Dark Side of the Moon, he's also the engineer on Abbey Road. So
great guessing. Z just guessed it while you Z guessed in chat. Right. It was Money.
Yeah, the bass line by Roger Waters, who also wrote the lyrics and the bass line pleasure of the song. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, I might have got one note long, but let's have money. Let's literally have money. That would be nice, huh?
Yeah, that one sounds nice too. I know Z needs that for getting a new apartment.
Right. Don't give me that do-goody-good bullshit.
All right. I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
More money for everyone.
Another amazing bass line that goes way. I mean, it's shared by all the instruments eventually. And it's kind of a tragic story. And one of the greatest bands in history, and when I say bands, I mean they had a complete band. The Allman Brothers and Whipping Post. Barry Oakley is the bass player. Of course, Barry's story is as tragic as Duane Allman's story. Duane Allman died of a motorcycle accident. Very young, I think he was 23. 1 year later, to the day that Duane Allman died in a motorcycle accident, Barry Oakley of the Allman Brothers, their bass player, died in a motorcycle accident. Yeah. So Whipping Post, Barry Oakley gets to start Whipping Post by the Allman Brothers. Can't hear it.
Last one.
Right on. And number 13, I know what you're all saying. Where's Paul McCartney? He's a bass player. Number 13, Come Together by the Beatles. Where Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr and whoever does that shh noise. Steal the show. Let's have Come Together by the Beatles.
All right, that's another great bass line. I mean, that's the whole point of the list. The whole list is a great bass line, right?
Bass intros, not just bass lines, bass intro. You hear the bass before you hear anything else.
This is loud. I forgot to turn that down before I switched over.
Yeah, you don't hear the bass.
Blasted everyone's ears real quick.
A lot of times, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times
I always hear the bass
song and you're like, up there's that, and up there's that, and up there's that. You're not listening to this down here a lot of times. So
what I advise for
shout out
you
to the
is
bass
actually, check out for a more modern song or some modern, more contemporary bass lines. Look up Tame Impala, their probably most listened to song. Has a really great bass line. I think every bass, that's the new kind of like bass line that every bass player learns when they want to play a song. Yeah.
And I didn't just leave out only Black Cow. There was a bunch I left out. Ended up 14 on my list was I didn't want to leave out Les Claypool. So Primus with Journey Was a Race Car Driver is also, and it's
honorable
going to be
mentions, basically.
Our mic drop moment because Les Claypool is freaking insane. So I appreciate the guy that's insane that makes, it's a bass player. I think that comes with the territory, not being wired right and being a bass player. No offense.
Yeah, the song, I believe it's the song, The Less I Know, The Better by Tame Impala, and it has like this really great bass line that opens. Let me listen to it real quick myself. Oh no, never mind. I'm going to listen to a YouTube ad because I didn't log on to YouTube yet.
You know what I don't like, getting back to your rock and roll thing, I will have did you have a non sequitur in this? Is that what you had?
I wish. I had a limerick and I'm still writing it, so keep talking. I didn't have time to write a limerick while doing the.
Well, I noticed the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame list includes people that are already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they need to knock that shit off. They need to knock that shit off now. I get it. Phil Collins is a great drummer. He's one of my favorite drummers of all time. Really. He's already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's put people in that are not in already instead of just going, let's set a record. Let's make this thing happen. And it's like, I get it. Phil Collins is great. He's in. He's already in. He's in the rightful place. He belongs there. Let's put
people I've got
in
your
there
limerick.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's go. In a song where the melodies play, the bass line just steals the day. With a thump and a groove, they get bodies to move, setting the vibe in a magical way. So there you go. There's your limerick celebrating the bass.
A good one. Yeah, that's right.
I love when people
Get your
argue
foot
about
happen.
who's the most important member in a band. Well, fun fact, the most important in the band is everybody, because that's what makes it a band. Like, the bass, we couldn't do anything without the bass. The drummer keeps the groove. They all work together to make a music.
That's right. A band is a band, right? A band is a band.
Let's stop arguing about who's the most important. Yeah.
Right. Unless you're a one-man band, right? You're the most important.
Yeah.
There's some people that do that. So you usually see them on street corners or, busking at the bus depot. Yeah. One-man
band. Okay, let's roll our next segue for my culture news. This will be probably my shortest story today, honestly, about the new Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees. So these aren't the people who have been elected to enter it, but the people that are getting voted on to enter it. And we've got... reminds me of a song. Perfect. This will definitely remind you of a song. That's the easiest segue anyone could ever get for this story. All right, let's go to, this is on AP News. Where did it go? This is on The Guardian, not AP News. But with association from Associated Press, we have a story. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame revealed 17 nominees for 2026 induction in list that also includes Shakira, Sade, Iron Maiden, and the Wu-Tang Clan. I can't believe Iron Maiden. I don't like Iron Maiden, but I can't believe they're not already in the Hall of Fame. That's crazy. Phil Collins, Mariah Carey.
How's that a thing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Phil Collins, Mariah Carey, Lauryn Hill, INXS, Iron Maiden, Luther Vandross, and Shakira are some of the 2026 nominees for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A wide net that includes rap, metal, R&B, hip-hop, Britpop, blues rock, and pop. Yeah, my thing with Iron Maiden is that I don't really like how he sings, and that's the same reason I don't like AC/DC. I don't like how he sings either, so if you want me to listen to that, I'm not going to. The Hall revealed the list of 17 performer nominees.
Iron Maiden is the actual Spinal Tap band that had the props go wrong, because they did have a prop, like Eddie was their prop, and then sometimes he didn't do the thing he was supposed to do. And I think they got that from Iron Maiden. And plus, Iron Maiden's lead singer looks just like Christopher Guest. They look like the same person. Anyway, Bruce Dickinson.
There's their side tangent. Okay. To be fair, the story isn't very long. So this was all revealed to us yesterday on the 25th of February, a list that also includes Melissa Etheridge, Jeff Buckley, rest in peace, Pink, New Edition, Sade, and the Wu-Tang Clan. Billy Idol, Joy Division / New Order returned to the nominations after missing inductions last year. I can't believe Billy Idol or Joy Division aren't in there already. That's every time they reveal one of these lists, I say it's really a list of saying they're not in there already. That's what the list usually is. What? Wait, those guys not in there? The list this time also repeats two sets of musical brothers who have had public feuds and recent reunions, the Black Crowes and Oasis. I think that's all of them. I guess we must have named all of them, but just not in a list order. Collins, with such hits as In the Air Tonight and One More Night, has earned 8 Grammys, including Album of the Year in 1985 for No Jacket Required. Hills, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, made history as the first hip-hop album to win a Grammy for Album of the Year in 1999. Carey, nominated in 24 and 25, has had 19 #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, while the soul jazz vocalist Sade, also nominated in 24, had soft rock hits such as Smooth Operator and The Sweetest Taboo. The Wu-Tang Clan have been hailed as rap innovators since the game-changing 1993 debut album, Enter the Wu-Tang Clan. Oh, sorry, just Enter the Wu-Tang. They don't have the clan in there. INSX ruled the late 1980s charts with hits like Need You Tonight, Devil Inside, and New Sensation. Two-time Grammy winner Etheridge, sorry, did I say Eldridge earlier? Etheridge is best known for her songs Come to My Window and I'm the Only One. Iron Maiden helped power the new wave of British heavy metal with albums such as The Number of the Beast, 666, The Number of the Beast. New Edition, I can't sing like Iron Maiden. New Edition had hits Cool It Now and Candy Girl, while Shakira has been lauded for her ability to bridge Latin music with rock and pop. Pink has had 4 #1 songs and 3 #1 albums, including The Truth About Love. I guess she's pretty pop rock adjacent, Pink, but she did start out as more of a hip hop adjacent, but hey, let's not put people in boxes. 10 of the 17 nominees are on the ballot for the first time. Buckley, Collins, Etheridge, Hills, INXS, New Edition, Pink, Shakira, Van Ross, and Wu-Tang Clan. Van Ross, who sold more than 25 million albums and had hits Here and Now and Any Love, died in 2005. Buckley, whose 1994 debut album Grace is widely acclaimed, died in 1997. This diverse list of talented nominees recognizes the ever-evolving faces and sound of rock and roll and its continued impact on youth culture. John Sykes, chair of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation, said in a statement, "The 2026 inductees will be revealed in April, along with inductees entering the hall under 3 special committee categories: musical influence, musical excellence, and the Hamet Ertegun Non-Performer Award. Artists must have released their first commercial recording at least 25 years before they are eligible for induction. Nominees will be voted on by more than 1,200 artists, historians, and music industry professionals. Last year, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Soundgarden, Joe Cocker, Salt and Pepper, The White Stripes, Carol Kay, Nicky Hopkins, and Lenny Waronker, Tom Bell, and Warren Zevon were all inducted into the Hall of Fame. And some of those people even make rock music. That's the joke here on the show. So there you go, your culture update on the Hall of Fame. I hope that reminds you of a song.
I'm not a big fan of Oasis or Joy Division.
They make rock music.
Listen, but I'm surprised they're not in.
Yeah.
As I like the Black Crowes, but really they're like 2 albums, and what happened after that?
And then they broke up, the same as Oasis.
Yeah, and they were brothers too, like Oasis.
Exactly, that's the whole joke. They're both the same band.
Yeah. Chris Robinson, my favorite fake commercial, because Chris Robinson for the Black Crowes, like he weighed 7 pounds. I don't know if he's gained weight since then. He said his diet Here's my diet. Here's my daily diet. I take a fresh gulp of air for breakfast, a gulp of fresh air for lunch, and a Marlboro cigarette for dinner. That was his diet. So, anyway, that's my
that's gonna help you lose weight if you don't eat anything. It wasn't a non sequitur. You're supposed to give me. It reminds me of a song. Come on, man.
Reminds me of a song. Is a Peter Frampton song. Peter Frampton was eventually put in the Hall of Fame a few years ago. Eventually, right after being a superstar, right? Putting several record executives, kids through college. He finally got in. So Peter Frampton had a song called "It's a Plain Shame," and that's all I can say about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'll let you explain, define what that means to yourself. The whole thing is just an extravaganza of debauchery, and it misses the point of rock and roll completely, which is...
Isn't debauchery the point of rock and roll, though?
Yep. Yeah, the point of rock and roll is to screw the man, stop telling me what to do. And here we are in institutionalizing rebellion, which is absolutely the opposite of rock and roll. So It's a plain shame. I told you to define it yourself, and then I went ahead and defined it for you. I apologize.
And that's our song. Yeah,
I do have.
We're reminded of. Yeah.
That was my song. It's a plain shame. That's the title of the song. It basically defines the world we live in. So let's have us a spin for my last segment, which is history.
Yes, let's get into this day in history. Where did my wheel go? Oh, there it is.
This day in 1802. What did you spin?
Wait, I haven't spinned it yet. It's still spinning. We're going to give you a mixed metaphor, probably 3 mixed metaphors. Take it away, this day in history.
Victor Hugo in 1802. Victor Hugo was born in Besançon.
Victor Hugo of the Hugo Awards?
I don't think so. I don't know. 1802 is a long time ago. A poet, novelist, and dramatist.
There you go. It is the Victor Hugo of the Hugo Awards.
The French romantic writers.
Yeah,
he was born in
the
France.
Hugo Awards, I think, gives books, gets given to books and stuff. So,
1885, the Berlin Conference concluded, in which major European countries staked and justified their colonial claims to Central Africa. Afterward, European claims to African territory increased in pace, part of the scramble for Africa, which is already underway. So a bunch of Europeans
that place belongs to us.
Subjugate the citizens to our whims and our religion. We're perfect. Again, never was a meritocracy in Berlin at the time. There was never a meritocracy in London at the time. It was all a bunch of royals looting other countries, and that's all it was. Meritocracy. Kiss my ass. Master race, kiss my ass. 1914, the Britannic was launched at a shipyard. That's a ship, obviously, in Belfast, less than 2 years after sinking of its sister ship, the Titanic. Like the Titanic, the Britannic sank with significantly fewer casualties. Can you fuckers make a ship that stays floating for a little while? Damn. Friggin', I don't know.
They weren't getting paid enough, I think, at the end. I think that's what we're going to have to determine. We do not get paid enough.
I'm sure we can find a metaphor in that. 1919, U.S. Congress established Grand Canyon National Park, named after the really immense size of the canyon. I'm not sure how many football fields, but maybe we'll figure that out. In northwestern Arizona, it's entirely contained in Arizona. Funny how none of it was in
Colorado.
Now, Colorado River goes through it, but it's not Colorado.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I thought that.
There's a Colorado River that runs through Austin, Texas. 1928, Fats Domino was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was born on this day in 1928. So happy birthday to Fats Domino. Now, hopefully he was part of the introductory class, because if he wasn't, I don't know why the fuck they even have a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But I'm pretty sure he was. I'm pretty sure Fats Domino is in the introductory class, because if any white guy that made it over him, except maybe Elvis,
canceled the awards.
Yeah. You might have Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis. Yeah, I mean, that was even before Buddy Holly. So, yeah, no. Let's have Fats Domino, Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry, of course, Little Richard. You have to have that. And a bunch of others. Robert Johnson should have been there. They probably forgot. Robert Johnson, Howlin' Wolf. The whole entire inaugural class should have been just bluesmen. 1929 Grand Teton National Park was established in Wyoming, and another National Park Day. It's supposed to be National Park Day. It might be. There's a lot of things. 1950, it was expanded to include most of Jackson Hole National Monument. Jackson was reached for comment and says, all right, it's about time my hole was made a national monument. That's my Jackson Hole joke.
Jackson's
1951. Jackson. Where are you from? Jackson Hole. Does Jackson know about this? 1951, American novelist James Jones, not the one who, started a town in Guyana, South America, and a bunch of people killed themselves and drank Kool-Aid, a different James Jones, not James Earl Jones either. Published From Here to Eternity about the U.S. Army in Hawaii before 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor. It was later adapted an Academy Award-winning movie featuring Montgomery Clift and Ernest Borgnine and Frank Sinatra, among others. 1993, a truck bomb exploded in a garage at World Trade Center in New York City, killing 6 people and injuring more than 1,000. 6 men were eventually convicted of what was at the time the deadliest act of terrorism in U.S. soil. Thank God the World Trade Center was safe after that. 2012, again, you didn't spin sarcasm, so I'm providing my own. 2012, Trayvon Martin, a black teenager, was fatally shot by a scumbag who we won't name his name, George something.
Because
George
Scumbag Jr. Fuck that
George
guy.
Zimmerman. We're not going to publish his name for some reason. Yeah. Who's currently homeless, I hear.
Good.
Currently homeless on your street corner, begging for $5.
Hope he's living in a sack of shit.
He will give you a hand job. He'll give you a hand job if you buy him a Big Mac these days. Poor George Zimmerman, he said, there's a black kid. He must be up to no good, which, again, is racism. Any way you slice it. Anyway, this piece of shit, who they don't mention here, I don't have no idea why they don't mention him. I remember his name. Neighborhood Watch volunteer. I'm not even sure he was part of Neighborhood Watch. He was just, somebody stole my something. It must have been a black kid. So he decided to murder somebody. His acquittal was perceived as a miscarriage of justice, led to a nationwide protest. And part of the Black Lives Matter, and of course, we distribute this bullshit that white people are part of a meritocracy. Well, somehow, and it doesn't exist. It never has. Napoleon on this day, our featured event on this day in 1815, which is 111 years ago, Napoleon escaped Elba. That's the place he escaped from. If you say so, I've heard theories he died at Elba. They just got a replacement who wasn't nearly as militarily competent, perhaps. That's one of those theories. On this day in 1815, Napoleon, who had been banished to the island of Elba on a coalition of European powers the previous year, escaped exile, attempted to make a comeback. He sailed to France and headed to Paris. French troops sent to stop him joined his forces. However, they were no match for the might of the troops commanded by the Duke of Wellington, consisting of British, Dutch, Belgian, and German units. Thus ensured
and then he fed Napoleon a beef Wellington, and he just rolled over and fell asleep. That's what happened at Waterloo.
I just wondered what his beef was with Napoleon. That's what I was having to say.
They were supposedly, I just learned this, they were supposedly rivals. They were just like military rivals. Like, that guy's better than you. No, he's not. I'm better than him. And they never met in real life, but they were rivals, military rivals, yeah.
Yep. It was part of the 100 Days campaign, during which Napoleon attempted to rule France and command its army. Once more, he was, however, no match for the Duke of Wellington's troops and the beef, and his leadership ended with a defeat at the Battle of Waterloo, which became a song by ABBA. It had nothing to do with the
Waterloo.
song.
I've been singing that song all day, and so what a convenient thing that it was Napoleon escapes
Yes,
today.
and this version of Napoleon Bonaparte was sent to an island called St. Helena, where eventually he died. Of course, don't forget Waterloo Sunset, also a song by the Kinks, one of their finer songs, but also not about Napoleon. Waterloo. Waterloo.
Waterloo. Nobody knows the words. They go Waterloo. Waterloo.
Okay, it's a whole shitload of crap. It's National Set a Good Example Day.
Wait, did you do the
National
birthdays? You didn't do the birthdays.
Did I not do the birthdays? Did I wrap up the
No,
birthdays?
'cause-
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
A featured birthday. Our feature biography is Johnny Cash. How could I miss Johnny Cash, the man in black? He was born February 26, 1932. Damn, he didn't make it to 100 even yet. So Johnny turned 93 today. We hope he's still out there. They say he died September 12, 2003, but I believe he's at Elba. I think he's in exile. But it says here he died September 12th in Nashville. He was born in Kingsland, Arkansas, a poor white man. Speaking of the founding of rock and roll, Johnny Cash was there with Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis in the same studio. And of course, Roy Orbison. And of course, Carl Perkins, another legend of rock and roll. Our other birthdays today, American actor and entertainer Jackie Gleason. He was a Renaissance man. He did a lot of things. He wasn't just an actor. 1928, Ariel Sharon, Prime Minister of Israel, the last decent prime minister they had. 1932, Johnny Cash, he did that. Recep Tayyip. Oh, we just talked to Erdogan. Shit, I forgot his name was Recep Tayyip Erdogan. No, we talked about Orban. Orban's a different fascist. The different fascist. The president of Turkey, Erdogan. It's his birthday today. So it's fascist birthday. All right. 1971, Iker Akubadu, American singer and songwriter. I hope I got that right. Born in 1971, so turned 55. Now national days. There's so many of them. That's why I clicked on over, because there's so many that want to get to them. National Pistachio Day. Love pistachios. It's one of them things I cannot stop eating once I start, which was really a problem back when it left your lips all red. Man, I remember those days. Nobody remembers those days. Us older folks do. National Tell a Fairy Tale Day. So I'll be making some shit up later. National Set a Good Example Day. Do it. Set a good example and tell a fairy tale. Try to work those together. National Letter to an Elder Day. Maybe write a fairy tale to an elder. I'm an elder. I give my address, but I don't want people showing up at my door. National Small Dog Day. So that's one of them days I can appreciate. National Toast Day. I'm going to have toast later. I guarantee that. National Chili Day. Probably won't work chili into the old diet. And Carpe Diem Day. Or as I used to call it when I worked in a government job, Carpe Per Diem Day. Because per diem is what they pay you per day for food. And we call it Seize the Per Diem. Because you don't have to eat at a restaurant when they're giving you $70 a day for food. You can just put it in your pocket and have a sandwich. Those are the gravy. They call it gravy. I call it gravy. Help me pay my bills, I'm sure. So yeah. Carpe Per Diem. That's your information for today. All that crap I said for Thursday, February 26th. Oh boy, on before pistachios and toast and chili. Yeah, that's all the food.
Put that all in a bowl.
All together. Pistachio chili nice. On toast.
Yeah, And of course, it is also, what is it, 260226 or 022626, depending on which
2626
system you use.
Is that a palindrome some way, somehow?
No, I don't think so. It's just fun because it's numbers. Yeah, it's going to be a while till that happens. There are no international days this week. So continue celebrating all that food you're going to eat, I'm guessing. And, oh, right. Here is my mixed metaphors. Napoleon's escape from exile was like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Revolution with every powerful beat of its wings.
Nice. All right.
Johnny
haiku
Cash
time.
was a rugged oak tree standing firm in the storm, embracing the weary soul searching for solace in his songs.
Oh, nice.
Small Dog Day is like a grand concert where the tiniest musicians take center stage, unleashing big symphonies of joy and laughter.
Nice. Oh, you had another one. Holy crap.
Biting your ankles.
All right.
All right, this has been Allison here from the Netherlands.
Hold on a second there. I had something to say.
You have more to say.
What? I forgot what I had to say, but I'll probably say it in a little while and I remember what I had to say. It had something to do with what we were talking about. What were we talking about?
I was just doing metaphors.
Right away. Huh?
And a lot of food. Eating a lot of food. No, there's no days. No, it's
It just
gone.
jumped out of
Okay.
my head. I'm sure I'll think of it.
Anyways, we need to end the show, please.
Okay. Right. Let me load my video.
This
while
has
you're
been
talking.
Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the US as we tie up another Thursday 13. Please go listen to all the songs we named and even our special mentions and listen to those and hear some good bassline music for your Thursday. We will see you tomorrow
Hold on
for
a second.
Fridays.
I haven't got it loaded yet.
It's fine. We'll be back later for Friday's news dump. I'm still doing the outro. You still got time. In which we will tell you all the news you need to hear before the weekend, so you don't need to hear about it. Please make sure that you are, if you're not already, subscribed to the Before Coffee podcast channel on YouTube. We need more subscribers on there. We need YouTube to know people enjoy our videos, like, comment, whatever you want to do to push us in that algorithm. And if you're already following and subscribed, thank you. Don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you know when we go live or post a video. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
And here is our mic drop moment. Some more
the
good
nachos.
baseline.
That's Playpool, the absolutely insane leader of. What's the bass it's going here?
Oh dear.
Prima.
That's a close-up. I don't know if nachos are that good.
Oh, yeah. Give me that greasy. Jerry was a race car driver.
Interesting color grading. Really makes that blue pop. Oh! No!
Nachos are wasted.
What a shame. I didn't know the song was going to be so loud. Turn it down.
You thought a lot before that even start is good.
He was very hungry for those nachos.
We'll see if it's sticker. 442. That's a CC engine block size.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know anything about cars myself. I don't even drive.
442 is a big engine.
One of those wood, like just pure wood, unfinished wood guitars. That's an interesting camera angle. I'm starting to get his accent that he's singing.
Oh, yeah.
Hearing it. I don't think I've ever heard this song in my life. Oh, there it is. There's the bass drop. Ooh, nice. The cameraman's going all over the place. No, the nachos!
One of my favorite metaphors. That doggone hunt. Shout out to the guitar player.
Yeah, look at him.
Don't know his name.
I mean, now that I know that the nachos fall on the ground, I do agree that they're a lip licking worthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably makes funny
nachos
faces.
Are disgusting. The only time I think nachos are disgusting is after I'm done eating. Right?
And it's only because you feel disgusting. Oh God, I'm a pig.
Nom, nom, nom.
I licked my
Let me
lips
go wash my face.
and my
Get the
I'm full of cheese
cheese off my
everywhere.
finger.
Cheese on my fingers, cheese on my fingernails, cheese all over my shirt.
cheese for days.
I do love a supreme nacho, right? Where you put the ground meat on it. You know, you get all the sides, the sour cream. You know, those are good.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a whole
By
meal,
the
you
time
know.
you're done, though, you don't have. By the time you're done with that, though, you don't have chips anymore. You got a soggy piece of
Not
corn.
expecting a claymation and nacho cheese, but I guess that's what we're doing now.
Oh, dark in there. Man, I didn't notice that before. That dog got some.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.